All righty then, away we go. Just give me a sound check here. Autumn, will you give me a thumbs up if you're hearing me okay? Okay, cool. Awesome. I'll unmute everybody in a second. Let's make sure this is going too. Too many places to record. Hang on. Start the room on Clubhouse. All right, here we go. It is Friday, March the 5th of 2021, and this is the Realty Classroom sales training call. So excited to get after this, as I always am on Fridays, the highlight of a week, and especially a long week like this one. So I know Ann, you can unmute yourself too. Okay, I muted everybody, so it was quiet when everybody was entering. But see if you can unmute yourself. Autumn, feel free to do the same, and then I'm going to look for some recorded calls here that people have been pouring in, but I know that Ann was diligent yesterday and today in sending me stuff. So I am going to reward that diligence by trying to find her stuff first. Ann, are you there with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. Super. Bear with while I look that up. And which email were you sending that to again?
Realty Classroom.
Okay, good. All right, let's take a look there.
Yeah, the one I sent yesterday was interesting call.
Okay. You want to give me a little background while I pull it up?
Yes. So I was actually talking to the son who has the same name as the father.
Okay.
And the father has moved to Japan. So, it was just he was very young guy, 23, but very respectful. And, so anyway, it went well, I thought.
Okay, good. What was your big takeaway from last week? And I know you were on a little bit with Adam and I this week for his one-on-one. What was your big takeaway last week? I mean, because you're a veteran, so I like to hear from you.
Okay, thank you. I would say my big takeaway was that you need to stick to the script and know it well and follow it and have it flow,
Yeah, good. Good. Okay, so Cameron was from yesterday. That's the one you want me to go to?
Yes.
Okay, presuming I can get him. I got a lot of tech work in here, so I'll see. I've got pinwheels going and everything. I had to restart the computer before the call. So let me see if it'll stop pinwheeling on me, and then we'll be able to get there. Just a lot of stuff open on my computer. I'll close some of it. See if this will help. Yeah. Don't know if that's going to work. Oh, well. Yeah, hang on. I'm really hung up here. Let me just see what I got going here that I can maybe get this rolling. And if not, we probably can't hear it on your computer. You have it on yours too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Chrome is really got me bungled up here, so bear with me. Let's see if I can't start another window. Ah, boy. Hang on. Bear with me. Trying to get there. Trying to get there. Trying to get there. Just need a new Gmail, that's all.
So we shouldn't send it through Chrome?
No. It's all good. It's all good. This is on my end. I had to reboot the computer before I got started here today. It's got nothing to do with you. Every week it works fine until eventually it doesn't. And that's just one of those moments where my computer is trying to, I guess, fully reset itself. Chrome can be a little bit tricky sometimes. So let's try this one more time.
So what I learned from that call yesterday is you have to kind of figure out how you can work it because, the father's in Japan.
Yeah.
The kid is in Northern California. The house is empty.
Right.
Obviously, we can't send the packet to Japan. So I ended up getting his email.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, we're doing some things, but I did emphasize to Laura today, we're doing some things that are oh, here we go. Hang on one second. I did get it. So we're doing some things too digitally, but I want to be very careful that I just say this at the beginning of this call to mention. I think digital is fabulous. I'm thrilled it all came along. I'm thrilled we're able to accelerate a lot of the processes that we use. However, there is nothing like physical. There's nothing like a physical package that goes out the door. There's nothing like a physical meeting. That is still the number one way to convert somebody, right? To the next stage of the process. So I always want to emphasize that that's great, but now it's almost like you have to beware that you didn't quite get yourself to the point of the optimal where, what I say every week is you're opening up a competitionless lane. I feel that way all the time. I feel that when we do things exactly the way we say we're going to do them, and we get these physical products out the door and we follow up with these people, I feel like nobody's doing it that way but us. Yes. And not I feel, because I've been beating up everybody about I feel. I know, because people are telling us you're the only one doing it like this. So even though we have competition, we are able to open up that lane where we're seen completely differently. And that's a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. That's a big deal, because it doesn't mean you don't have exactly. You're extremely competitive when it comes to expireds, FSBOs, probates, any outbound call where anybody can easily identify the people. The competition is alive and well, but they're very unorganized. Even when they're good, they're very unorganized. So by being hyper organized, which the understanding of organization is to truly be of service, to fulfill. I went through this with Maxie and Russell, and while Duran was listening the other day, if you don't know, and the team up in Ottawa, if you don't know what's being said, especially on an inbound lead, when you make an outbound call, you sound like a fool, right? Yeah, it's just right. Marketing 101. How do you tell a marketer up to make an outbound call and they don't even know what you said to get the lead? It's not smart, but it happens every day in all sorts of businesses, right? So it becomes a very logical, easy solution. But when we get that digital package, like I did, I had a great presentation online. Autumn sent it over to Laura. It was ready to go. I got on the phone and voila, it was a great presentation, but I still haven't met him. And so what it led to is I'd love to meet you face to face. So he wants that kinesthetic experience, but he was in the Bay Area coming all the way back to Boston, an empty place. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going to see him tomorrow, but I'm going to see him tomorrow. And I said to Laura, where's the package? Well, I already did it. No, nope. Where's the package? It is as if I am going in there and he has never met me before. We can never, in a competitive business, take anything for granted. And when we can make it physical, it's like the brand new restart. So as your progress goes on with this guy, anytime that a package can go out, even if it's to Japan, who cares? Snail mail it. You know what I mean? Because we Annabelle, who's listening on Clubhouse, one of our agents at the Griffin, she had this lesson for me a couple of weeks ago. And so she sends out this package and she gets a thank you for going the extra mile. Well, that's what I mean by really being in that competitionless lane. The extra mile, the perception that you've done something above and beyond. That's what it is, right? So, all right. So let's listen to this. Here we go.
Hi, Cameron. This is Ann with Paradigm Realty. And the reason I'm giving you a call is because I noticed your beautiful home in Canyon Lake online today and that it hadn't sold. So I did want to send you a free packet of information that will help you sell it the next time. Can I do that?
I can give you my, you can send it to me. I'm going to just send it to my father, because the thing with that is my father is stationed in Japan, meaning like he just moved over there in like October. So the house has been listed since then. I don't know if he put me as a contact or what, but he had changed his number to a Japan number. So I can basically get the info from you. I won't be able to say exactly what is going to happen or, have a say. So my name is not on the property. So the crazy thing is we have the same name. Go ahead.
Do you know if he's still trying to sell it? He's still wanting to sell it?
I hope so. I would hope so. I mean, look, the thing is, he's living in Japan. He's married.
Yeah.
He has no reason to come back here at all. I'm grown. I'm 23. I'm going to be 24. I have a son. I'm in construction. Like, I'm set here. So, I mean, I live in the Bay Area up north. I can see, hopefully, he sells that house. There's no need, no use for it, honestly, in my opinion. So, because somebody contacted me earlier, so I sent them an info. Like I said, this is my cell number. So you can send it to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll send him your contact info, and whatever he decides, you know, you guys can go from there. Sounds good?
Let me ask you this. Yes. Let me ask you this. So do I
Yes, ma'am.
send it to the 29558 Longhorn Drive?
No.
Or
you're
should-
mailing it. Oh, I thought you were gonna do text message. I'm sorry. God, you did say it was a packet though.
No, I can. No, I mean, I can't send the information in a text. How about an email? Do you?
That's fine.
Okay. Whose email is Thin No Scent D? Thin THINNOCE.
Okay, so where does this go? Do we end up just getting more info and we get more digital? Is there any more follow up to this that you want me to listen to? Because this is good. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, you have him under control. You know, you're getting it to him. This is tricky because his father's overseas, but you know, somehow maybe this kid can be a liaison, but he is definitely not the decision maker.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure the right questions are being asked.
Well, she's first just getting an address. So let's.
So I ended up.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Autumn, let her answer, and then we'll listen because I haven't given her the benefit of the rest of the call. So let's see if the rest of the questions get asked. So tell me about this, Ann. Go ahead.
Okay, so he starts looking for his dad's email and he can't find it. So then I said, well, give me your email and then I can send it to you and you can forward it to your dad. And so that's what we ended up doing.
Okay.
He told me a little bit about the house and, you know,
yeah,
it was he was a very respectful young man. I enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, good. He was. I mean, I can listen to it. So where do you, if I fast forward this without it blowing up on me, where I want to hear you, because the thing we worked on last week was that second beat. Like, how do you set up this next thing is not my concern. I'm not concerned about you. I'm just saying that's where I'm trying to lean in and help you. So I'm going to fast forward a little. Let me just see.
@gmail.com.
Okay, let me just see.
This is gonna be my first name, last name, touch up, paint, it's like in the garage. But other than that, there's nothing broken, damaged, leaking, no water damage, no dry rot, none of that. So I do construction. So I've checked it out
Cool.
as much as I'm able to. So if anybody, you know, wants to look at it, then, you know, I'll get the info so that way you can get in contact with him and you guys can speak on those terms.
Good.
Very good. So where do you live in the Bay Area? My son lives up there.
All right, good. So there's the line I'm looking for. You do try to go and get, you know, this kid's going to be a liaison. He's got some construction background. So he definitely is not the decision maker, but he certainly can influence it. And I don't think too many people are going to track down the father in Japan. Right. So now, did you get a package out to him too, physically?
No, this call is from yesterday, and Adam wasn't in the office. So, do you think we should send him the
100%?
The son?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And let me go back to this. I'm going to emphasize this a lot today for everybody. I think that when we leave this, and it's not a thinking, it's experiential. When we leave it just to this email exchange and this good moment, this is a good moment. It's clear. There's a connection and you're going to go on and connect with them even more, but he's going to forget you. He's got a 23-year-old brain. Take it from a father of 5, you know, all under 25. Okay. You know, they forget what they talked to us about 10 minutes ago. And so the thing is, he's going to get an email and that's going to be in with everything else. Okay. But he is conscientious. So he may very well be a good liaison for you, but you should duplicate the information delivery, you know, to whomever, and you can send it digitally. But again, that might be lost on the father. If you impress this kid well enough with what you're doing and you get in a competition lane with this kid, let's presume that it's expired, which it is, right? Is this an expired, canceled, withdrawn?
Yes.
Okay. So there are other people trying to hunt them down. Let's presume somebody else gets them. And you're letting the competition in if you just email. And it's really, really, really difficult for anybody to consume information digitally when it's that much. But when it's physical, ironically, it's crazy simple, right?
Yeah, true.
It's
Yeah.
really crazy simple. There's a cover letter, there's pictures and details, and there's a magazine. You get it. But when you
Right.
get it digitally, like Autumn, you can tell them about this in a second. We'll go to what a digital presentation was like from her perspective, because she set it up and I invited her on there to eavesdrop on the whole thing. And now she set up this physical thing. And now this is a real life thing going down tomorrow where I am adamant about this physical package, right?
Mhm.
And by the way, I happen to, for all of you in the coaching program, I always have them on the sales training desk. Here are the 6 physical packages. When I say 6, those are the 3 mailer versions for a buyer, agent, seller. And these are the physical presentations that would go buyer, seller, and agent. I will not walk into a house or a meeting with an agent without the physical goods. I will not do it. And I will freak out if I, unless of course, the only thing we could get was the Zoom. So like your guy in Japan, all we could get at the moment was the Zoom with Stefan. Okay. That's what we could get. But I still, and I would have preferred, and I don't know if we did this, the minute that was over, we should have mailed something over to the Bay Area. Okay. Should have just gone. But having said that, we were indeed able to book a presentation with them close enough to that time where I'll just give it to him instead. Right. But I am adamant about this, that if I'm going to protect you all, no matter who it is, there are oftentimes like this, multiple decision makers or influencers or, control. I'm a grown man and I'm in charge of the, right? Feed them, right? Don't just connect with them. I hear you connecting at the end. Don't just do that. Say, look, maybe for your own edification, since helping you dad with this, let me get a package out to you. Let me mail this physical package to you too. Let me get your hands on this. Because again, if you do that for him, if you're of service to him, you empower him. Now he can look good in front of his father. He's got this information. He's the coordinator. He can handle it. You just won, somebody that goes to work for you. Right?
Right.
So I think that's really, really the important takeaway here.
And I think I'm going to text him because he had said text before. I'm going to text him and say, hey, I want to send you this package. What's your address?
100%. The more I thought about it, I thought, with all your knowledge of real estate, you should have this package. You'll really like it, and it'll help your father figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
100%. See what the hardest part, Ann, of this job to do when this is new business development, outbound calls to people that we don't know, whether they inbounded with an inquiry or they don't know us from, Adam or Eve. We're just making that moment where finally, my gosh, this is a good guy. He's communicating. There's definitely a property to sell. This father doesn't even live there anymore. Nobody's there. This is a real go time moment. This is what we live for, right? So we want to go all in with what we have for these people. It's sort of the old shock and awe, right? The more you can do, the more you're distancing yourself or differentiating yourself from the competition. But this is a good one, right? All right. What else did you send me? You got me something else here too. 2 more you got me.
Okay. Do the last one, which is Kirk.
Kirk, got him.
Yeah, that was this morning, and I caught him in an awkward moment. He was actually in the shower.
Yeah.
But I kind of turned it around. And
okay. Good. Well, what I like here is I start to hear the real Ann emerging this week, and again, that humility to say, look, I got to learn this script. I mean, I think when you hear from Autumn today about her watching my presentation, or her takeaway was very interesting. I'll let her speak for herself, but I think she was surprised. It's like, Laura was surprised the first time she went out. I think everybody's surprised at how systematic this, is and how important that is. So let's listen.
What is this?
Hi, is this Kurt?
Yes.
Hi, Kurt. This
Hello.
is Ann. Hi, it's Ann with Realty. And the reason I'm calling you is I missed your manufactured home in Paris, and that it didn't sell. So I just want to.
Hey, I'm in the shower right now, and my home is off the market. I checked out 3 weeks ago because of my mom. Yeah, she's in a home. She's 97. I can't sell my home.
Sorry.
Okay. And so my home is still in the computer.
No, it does say that it's off, but so sometimes people have a hard time spelling it. And
All right, now you're off again. Okay. Yeah, you're really struggling here. And so
I did turn it around.
yeah, okay. But right up,
I think I was embarrassed thinking of him in the shower.
all right, well, it's 53 seconds and we're stumbling. That's a long time. You're lucky he's nice enough and curious enough or forgiving enough, because this is a mess 53 seconds in. And again, I get it. He gets it, but I still think that it ended up this way because it's not your best opening. You're not athletically ready on this one. You know what I mean? You just don't sound that crisp. Like last week when we listened to one of yours, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That opening was just authoritative. This isn't that. And so it's not just, go ahead.
One of my questions is, if you catch someone in a, awkward moment or whatever.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, keep going.
Again, if you get the first 4 lines out, you probably don't even know that until you're done. Let's listen to the beginning again. Watch, okay? Listen to the beginning again and imagine that it was you last week with your nice smooth delivery, and you tell me the difference, okay? Because last week, I'm pretty sure it took you only 17 seconds, if I recall correctly, to get the first 4 lines out beautifully, perfectly, authoritatively. You hit every one of those behind the scenes beats. Likability, gift giving, trigger with because. It was beautiful. It was like, a fine violin performance, but not this one. And listen to the difference. Ready? Here we go.
Who is this?
hi, is this Kurt?
Yes.
Hi, Kurt. This
Hello.
is Ann. Hi, it's Ann with Realty. And the reason I'm calling you is I missed your manufactured home on.
There's 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Why are you calling it a manufactured home? Why even, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Can I just say something here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, your issue here, Ann, is entirely real. I've called them when they're in the shower, and it's mortifying, and it takes you by surprise.
Right. And
It
it was my
is
first
startling.
call.
Yeah, it's startling. So that's a real telemarketing problem.
Yeah.
The way I deal with it, because I need to know I have the stage when
Yeah.
they're on the phone.
Right.
And this is just another alternative. I don't know what Danny would say, but what I'll say is, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a better time to call?"
Yeah.
And I get a time, and I say, "I'll try you then." You know what I mean? I just
Right.
bow out, let them finish their shower. I don't want a diluted conversation because I only have a few words.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was.
But I would agree.
Nice.
I would agree if you were smoother in the beginning.
Okay.
I would agree if you were smoother in the beginning, but
Yeah.
it's just really, I don't know what happened. There's a delay in the beginning. You sound lost. He sounds
Yeah.
confused. So I don't really know what went down to lead to that kind of a thing, but it's the beginning that's just off,
Right.
right? It's just off. And this is Danny Griffin. It's off that first name piece of it. And again, I think everybody has their own pace. Autumn has that downward inflection that she talks about all the time.
Yeah.
And right,
Yeah, there's no
I can't do it like her because I don't talk like that. But the point is, when we
If you were a telemarketer, you'd have to
Yeah.
learn to talk.
yeah,
like that.
but I just take the authority. Autumn, this is Danny Griff, right? So
Right.
to
Okay,
me, I would
gotcha.
take the authority and I would just say, look, in my mind, no matter how we do it subtly, I just hate the question mark and the apologetic sound. If anybody does that, Autumn, like that's like hearing, nails on a chalkboard, right? But the authority is, and I have something for you that's really important and I want to get it to you. Okay. That's my when tomorrow I go to this house, I really have some knowledge for this guy that he really needs, that he's
But
really
you're
close.
inflecting down when you talk.
Yeah.
You are inflecting down. There's no
Right.
question mark.
Right. Well, because again, when I own authority, you tend to do that. Right.
Right.
You just, when you own the authority, when you're scared or you're fumbling or, again, it's such a
tone
weird,
goes up.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's such a weird thing in sales. I think what happens in sales is that we're worried more about ourselves. And I get it, ladies, you got a guy that's in the shower and all of a sudden everybody's feeling kind of an awkward moment. And why? The real question is
Yeah.
why? Why do we get so thrown off?
Because I don't have the stage. Not only is it a little bit startling and over personal, but I'm not going to get the stage, and I'm not going to talk to the guy when he's nude.
Agreed. But I would still have given him the context in those first 16 seconds. If he cut her off, and said, whoa, I'm in the shower. Oh, no problem. I'll call you back another time.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, always concise.
Right. Then I think it's super appropriate to just stop yourself, cut it off, and you're good. But I think when it's like this, she just didn't get through what she needed to get through.
No,
yes,
I agree.
And
listen to the rest of the call.
I will.
It turns out good.
Yeah. Well, which I expect from you because you're a pro. Your recovery is good, but I'm trying to get you where I don't want you to have to go through this. Why should you have to recover? Right. So let's listen. Right. But we will listen. We will humor you.
And Paris, and that it didn't sound. I just want to.
Hey, in the shower right now, and my home is off the market. I checked out 3 weeks ago because of my mom. Yeah, she's in a home. She's 97. I can't sell my home.
Sorry.
You know,
okay.
And my home is still in the computer.
No, it does say that it's off, but so sometimes people have a hard time selling it. And what I do is send you a free packet of information that would help you sell it the next time. Do you want me to send that to you? It's free.
It sounds good. If you can send me a card in the mail, I'll take your card because I can't sell it for at least another year. You know, I mean,
okay.
That's good to my mom. So.
Okay, sure. All right.
I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like the better version of you. It's sort of like, when we listen to these calls, I think we can all see the other side of ourselves, the more we do it. There are like Sam has these moments on these calls too, where, you're in that rhythm and everything's going wonderfully. And then I get it that it's not always the same. I'm not the same when I walk into a house. Sometimes like, right. But I have my system. I rely on it and I go there. But I think in this case, you're really fighting it for some reason. And what the coachable moment is, the coachable moment is, where is your script? And Autumn has really talked about this. And when we were in the office the other day, I think even Laura kind of woke up and was, like, I don't have, why did I not put my, my seller and buyer course up there? Because we're all in that together. We just move that. Autumn moves it to me. I move it to Laura, but we're just still in that process all the time. We should never feel lost as to where we're at with anybody because we say, okay, this is this client. Where am I at? I've gotten all the way to negotiation and closing almost and fell out. And, you just always can get yourself back. So to me, I call that being athletically ready. I mean, Autumn and Lauren and Laura are out shopping for new chairs today because it's like that important to be athletically ready in the spot where you do what you do, right? So like, that's the kind of fanaticism that we have is like, what is it like in that environment to be ready to go forward with this? And in this case, you just don't sound ready. It's not, you know what I mean? And if you need to, on the days where your brain is, let's call it telemarketer brain, It
was my first call and he answered.
Yep. Exactly. That's why I would almost say, I wouldn't just dive into the phone call. I mean, I know it's going to sound corny, but I'd get up, and Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. I'd get up and I'd change my state, right? And I'd move around. I'd step outside and I'd, just wave my arms around like I'm doing now or whatever, get a cold glass of water, anything, cup of coffee, good sip and deep breath. And I'd go because I need to change my state because your state is your focus, right? Your state is your focus. Or lack thereof. I mean, even before this call, it's just one of those days. I woke up, it's like early spring allergies. I was cranky. But right before this, I walked up and down the stairs, to get there. I came down here, I turned the lights on. I came over and, just got myself ready to go in spite of some tech. You know what I mean? You got to change that state to be focused on what's in front of you. And that just
Right.
doesn't happen on this one. So take your beat before that. Okay.
Yes.
Good job
So-
though. Yeah, go ahead. Come on.
Yeah, it was a good job. I just think, it's kind of like be ready for anything.
Yeah.
You never
Right.
know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Exactly.
So make sure you're athletically ready.
So as far as what to send him, he said send him a card.
No, just plow through that. It doesn't matter what he said. That's
Okay.
it doesn't matter what he said. That doesn't matter.
Even though he's not ready to sell for a year, still send him.
You made the connection with this guy, And
Yeah.
by the way, I have a question. How much was that property worth?
Oh, let me see.
Just curious.
I'll have to.
I in the background, I had this question about marketing and lead gen and avatar. You know what I mean? I'm saying to
Okay,
myself,
it says 234,
yeah,
500.
yeah. What are we doing calling this guy? Was my thought. We're in Temecula. The median price in Temecula is something like what, 600,000-700,000?
It should
Right,
be good.
yeah.
Temecula is a pretty booming place.
So what
Yeah,
are we?
This is in Paris, which is not that great a
So
place.
so
She said it was a manufactured
Yeah.
home.
exactly,
It's a mobile
Gail.
home.
Gail, I got
I
it.
know.
Gail, I got it. I was right there with you. Right. Right. So
Okay.
what are we doing calling this guy to begin with? Okay, that's an
Yeah.
Adam question.
Okay.
Now, Adam is a purchaser and a flipper. So if that's that, fine. But I'm telling you that that mattered in this call too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going
I
to
hear
layer deeper. That mattered here.
Okay.
So we're not calling who you should be calling as a priority, especially if you came in and that was the number one call of the day. With all that luxury stuff in Temecula, that's your first call of the day. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking to myself.
Okay. I
Okay.
hear you.
So we need to know why you're getting those types of leads at all, because as Adam's coach and guide, I'm saying to myself, what? Yeah, right. What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, but good job. And again, it's the same repeated theme here is just be ready and stay in the lane, because what I wanted to hear was 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I wanted to hear you get to that second beat. I wanted you to finish it up, and you're not finishing it up with authority. I did like you. Hey, it's free. Can I send it? It's still too many question marks. Look, this is free. This is good stuff. And even though you can't sell it now, let me get it out to you. Authoritative more,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
No more apologetics for you. You don't need it. No more question marks. You don't need it.
Okay.
You're the authority here, and you really have this good information. And I'd like to hear you stick to those first 4 beats, that this is your call. This is what's going on. And I agree with, Autumn. If you get cut off by something whacked out, say, no problem. When's the best time to call you back? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I have something for you. I got to get it to you. When's the best time to call you back? See, I just think authoritatively all the time. If you want to tell me to go away, that's okay. Say it. But while I got you, it's my show. It's your show. It's Autumn's show. And we have something for them. Right? Cool.
I got it.
Remembering the precept that leadership is the ultimate service.
Yeah, I loved that when Autumn said that in our meeting the other day. Explain that to them, Autumn. Okay?
Well, leadership is the ultimate form of service. I mean, to take on leading people is huge service, and you are a servant of all of them. I mean, if we want to get biblical about it, Christ himself said, the higher you go up, the more you're going to serve.
Yeah.
You're not going to lord it over. You're not a
Servant's
dictator.
heart. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
That's good. Very
Good.
good.
All right, Autumn. Maxie, by the way, I want you on standby. You there, Maxie? Maxie, Russell, guys there? Either one of you?
Says they're there.
I'm here.
Okay, cool, Russell. Maxie, is she there? Okay. Russell, did you send me anything too?
Yeah,
I'm
I
here.
didn't have any
Okay, Maxie.
calls for this week.
Okay.
Or any good calls.
Okay, all right, good. Well, so we'll take Maxie's, but I'm going to go to Autumn and then Maxie, I want you on deck, okay? You're up next.
Okay.
Autumn, let's go back to this concept of setting up this outside sales opportunity for me that ended up being digital and virtual that you came to? Number one, let's go back and case study this and talk about how that lead came to be. That's number one. And how you ended up deciding that it was worthy of a Zoom presentation, a full presentation on Zoom. And then, so that's the setup, how this all comes to be, and you make that decision. And the second part is you attended it and you walked away with, I thought, a big epiphany. So let's hit 2 beats with your reiteration of what just went down.
Okay, well, he was in expired Boston, and I probably got in touch with him almost right away. And I guess he asked me to send it to him virtually, email. I don't quite remember. And anyway, we started having a text conversation because I was having trouble getting back in touch with him. So I started texting him, and I love when they respond on text because it just takes all the pressure off from both of us, and extra chit chat, etc., between two strangers, basically. And so through text, and it was funny because we accidentally sent him a letter in our package, the email package that wasn't supposed to, or no, we sent him a physical package, excuse me. Okay. And it included a letter that wasn't supposed to be in there from another agent. And so I texted him and said, please forgive that, because it was kind of a highly muscled letter, high pressure. It was very old. And so I didn't get a response back, but then I texted him again and just said, look, can we have an appointment with you on Zoom? And he got right back and he said, yes. We set it up. I reminded Danny. Danny invited me to be on that Zoom appointment. So we met him, and he was just lovely, very nice man. And he's a scientist. And Danny just systematically did the pitch, the system. And I was very quiet through the whole thing. But when I came off it, I was like, wow, I could never have done that, because I would have gone into sales mode. And this is just based on inexperience. I would have gone into sales mode. And Danny never went into sales mode. He just stayed on the system. But one thing he did do that I noticed, and I'm good at this too, is listening. He listened to everything the guy said. He did not interrupt him. And then he would ask another question, and he would let the man answer, and he did not interrupt him. And every answer that Danny gave was very knowledgeable about the market at the moment. And he was able to show him, or to speak numbers to him, and what the market was doing. And so in that sense, that's where I was like, oh, I could never do that, because that's the part I don't have yet. I have the sales part, but I don't have all of the facts. And Danny really just facted him into a face-to-face without ever sounding like he was asking for it. I mean, the guy had the lead the whole time. Now, I would be good at that, but I still think, based on my lack of knowledge, I probably would have resorted to a more salesy, which would have come off a little muscly approach. So I have a lot to learn as far as the facts of the market on a daily basis, because things change, and you know how fast they can change. So tomorrow is the face-to-face with Danny. We'll see how that goes. And Danny, by the way, the package is here on Laura's desk, and he has confirmed the appointment over text with me. And I have 3 clients that I deal with solely on text. It's very good way to stay in touch and to be able to just ask questions and get answers very expediently. So that's all I have to say on that one.
Cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And let me go into the next part of this. This is a real good training moment too, for all the outside salespeople too. So what she's talking about, so we talk about this a lot in this call. You're all trying to sell the valuable information delivery. That's what you're trying to do. Okay. So if it goes digitally, fine. But if it goes physically, 10x better, not even a comparison. So if we could ladder it from digital delivery to physical delivery as the next step, to ultimately what? Insight. And so now we've got all these digital steps we have to add to our stairway. I'm going to do this again, right? So we've got the digital delivery of the information, meaning the 5 or 6 properties that sold around them, the digital delivery of this is the first platform of the plan. Okay. That goes out to them. So they have pictures and details of properties that sold, and they have the plan, and that we're going to go through it. So that could be delivered digitally. I'm not even talking presentation yet. If we can follow it with physical, the snail mail gets there. That's the benevolent Trojan horse. And again, it looks like, one of these gray packages here. So that delivers in the mail. And I'll tell you what, when that shows up in the mail, that is way bigger than anything else that showed up in the mail that day. It's way more significant. Okay. Even direct mail doesn't look like this when somebody sends a really good direct mail piece. So it's the shock and awe moment. What's that?
You put it in a folder?
No, that's the hand delivered. Let me go through them both. Okay. And I hold them both up. The folder is when, oops, where am I going to camera? The folder is when I go in and I have a presentation. The mailer is just the mailer, but both of them are significant because this is a leave behind the folder and this is a deliverable in the mail. And I'm just telling you, go look at your mail today. Go look at your mail all week. Nothing looks like this. Nothing.
Right.
I look at my mail every day to see it's super crowded with blah, blah, blah direct mail, just like it is on the telephone. It's super crowded with blah, blah, blah telemarketing. So I'm telling you, this is relatively easy to take a real serious advantage over the marketplace if you'll just understand the simple concept. So now, so we digitally deliver the package and then we physically deliver one, too. But I have to go do a first digital presentation, which is fine. I mean, I'm now thinking, whoa, wait a minute, he's moved? Let's get him. Just like that guy in Japan. You could do a Zoom with him in 30 seconds, right? Adam could jump on a Zoom and have this advantage. And that led to, I want to meet you. Because he wasn't the type of guy, he's a scientist. And I'm going to come back to helping her educate herself. You can learn very quickly. I mean, we have all sorts of new agents that are going to be joining Griffin Realty Group. We have the current ones. We send them every month like clockwork, the market update. So what Autumn's perception of what I was doing might be mastery over time, might be experience, but all I was doing was referring to very micro bites of information about Boston's marketplace. I was able to quote the month's worth of supply. I was able to quote the average sales price, right?
Right.
And then I was able to talk about a couple of anecdotes. I'm talking 2 little bullet points off of our market update. That's it, right? That's all I had. And then I had his particular analysis, which, yes, we have a formula for that too. So we go through that. Hi, Gail. So Gail Bebo online, I see you. So the whole idea was, as I go into that mode, now I have this information that I'm going to be insightful on. And the great news is it was like taking a blindfold and just saying, I'm going to stay to my system. And boom, I hit the center of the bullseye with a blindfold on. How? He's a scientist. Like he's looking at stats with me and he loved it. And in fact, he himself said, yes, but that that sold to ask ratio depends on the last ask. Oh, brilliant. You're hired. I said to him jokingly. I said, thank God, somebody who appreciates it. You are correct. That is why it's important to back up what you're saying. You're able to get a better price up front without all the nonsense if you'll just look at the science. And I started to speak his language. So all I did was took my information, which has always been statistical, scientific, and simple. This guy's a scientist. This stuff wasn't rocket science for him. It was pedestrian, but he appreciated it because you know why? Nobody else competes like that. Nobody. That's the point. So he appreciated it. Yeah, go ahead.
But you said when he said, well, I'm thinking maybe I should sell in the fall. And then you came right back with, well, why carry the mortgage and the blah, 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 whatever you said, it was just succinct and perfect. And he was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, because that would have slayed me. I would have been like, So
yeah,
it was just very good. It was very good. There was always like facts and statistics in there. There was always a good fact that he could chew on.
Yeah.
Along with a continuation of the system.
Well,
and that's
yeah. Well, it also framed his thinking into a relief mode where, okay, well, this isn't rocket science. What do you think? I was at, well, look, if you're going to go in that scientific mode that you don't want to start here and then come down here because you have math that says you can cheat, but you're right because you get it. Look here's exactly where things sold and they're beneath you and you have better math than all of them. But if you want to move the product, here's the good news for you. You can cheat just slightly above those, be under the 750, and again, so when I see him tomorrow, I'm going to reiterate the power of pricing it right and the scientific, reason for that. But I'm going to not hope he remembers. I'm going out there with the printout of what we talked about, going to put it right under his nose and say, here's what we talked about the last time. And by the way, Autumn, I don't know if it's possible now because I don't see Laura in the background there, but maybe we reach out.
Here.
Okay. I'd like to reach out to Serena for a quick second look at the analysis because some things have changed in Boston pretty dramatically since we talked to him. Okay.
Okay.
So I would like Serena to just take a fresh look and see if it's changed. I'll go with both, preferably, because I'll show the good news if I have it. If not, I'll go out and reiterate what I just talked about. Everybody get that? Everybody understand where I'm coming from? I mean, not just Ann and Autumn. I mean, I should be hearing from, everybody in the group here if you have questions.
But can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
And this applies to both outside sales and inside sales. When you get an objection like Danny got, I mean, if it were me in Danny's position, him saying, well, maybe I should sell in the fall, that would have derailed me at my experience level right now. Okay. But there's a system that Danny followed that is something that I follow in telemarketing, which is when you get an objection, you acknowledge it, and then you give a fact, and then you basically ask for the sale, or as Danny did, you move on towards the sale or towards getting the appointment. And so that's a system. That's also another railroad track. It's part of the railroad track that when you get a rebuttal, you don't let that bump you off the track. But the answer to it is give a market fact and then ask.
Let me say this though, too. In those moments, I'm using logic with no attachment to the outcome for real. I mean, look at Laura can tell you what I'm really like in these moments. Autumn can definitely tell you she's been in 2 of them, digital and physical. They know that I'm very systematic in my approach. But if you want to know the technique that's probably going on in my head, I'm being very logical. So as I ask those questions, I'm hearing the answer and I'm saying, is that logical? Is that going to lead me to give this guy advice to not sell it and wait till the fall? Or is it going to be that logic says, well, wait a minute, you can still make a case for now. So in this case, what he said to me is, I think I'd like to wait until whatever factors he thought were going to happen. The logic of the moment told me, well, we just had a regime change in Washington. So we know that we're not going to sit here with these low interest rates. We now have, COVID vaccines. Economies are going to open up. And inflation is probably going to kick in, and we're going to have a rise in interest rates for sure. We're not just going to let properties go wild. We're going to have a rise in interest rates. The bond market's going to react. Well, duh, what just happened this week, right?
Yeah.
So just like I knew logically, and it doesn't take 21 years of experience and 16 of teaching. You know logically by looking at the current data of the economy we all live in, that's probably a logical possibility. I don't have to say it's a fact. I don't need to speak in absolutes. I just set it up that way. And I say, well, here's a couple of things. And again, with a scientist or a numbers person, this is why I'm saying, Ann, what are we doing? Not talking to these people in Temecula. You know what I mean? All these people that deal with numbers and facts in business. And we're talking to people that, that might be lost on, and they're more emotional. Right. So as I'm going to this guy, he was very matter of fact. And so we just went through it. And the conclusion was, look, let me also just appeal to you. Are you going to rent it? No. Well, then you have the carry costs too. So by the time you get to the fall, you got to take those. And now we have to hope that the correction in the market is so much so that now we've taken care of all the carry cost. Why wouldn't you just get the best price you could now and end it? So it becomes a very logical conclusion. And what's happening is, like Autumn says, leadership is the ultimate guidance. So I'm leading him to a conclusion. And because I'm standing there as the leader, I at least get into the dogfight. And now you got to knock me off the king. I'm the king of the hill right now because I got a scientist who's loaded with fact, and we have a connection. And this guy now trusts me as a pro because I'm very mathematically oriented, and I'm showing him how and why I can get it done. And he has huge
Right.
why. He has a huge motivation. He's moved across the country. He's on the other coast. He's got to come all the way back here. And I don't know whether it's for personal reasons or business, but he's got to come all the way back here to babysit this orphan. Let's just move this thing, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes, but I bring this up today because I had it in my hands with a real one for us to help you understand that Autumn is still learning the business, but what she keeps refining, just like I'm refining with you, is we have a system. And the fact that she's been able to see me, not just, I'm not a pontificator, I'm a doer of the thing. So when I go in there and I do my thing, it is the thing I talk about right here. This isn't theory. You can go all over the internet and hear blah, 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 blah from coaches that are just full of crap. Like they've never done it before. They don't do it. They don't know what they're talking about, but they have plenty of authority to muscle the sheeple. I don't do that. I do the job in the field. And I'm telling you, I stick to the yellow brick system because when I don't,
does.
yeah,
He really does.
Right.
It's kind of amazing. He does not vary.
yeah,
It's A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. It's never D, C, B, A. Never. It's the same thing.
because it leads to the best conclusion for the consumer. And I'm trying to be the highest level of service, I can be,
right.
period. It's just the
Right.
best way. If they don't hire me, I left them better than I found them. Lauren will tell you that because she's the head recruiter now. And we are having a gajillion interviews every week. And we just
Yeah.
tell people, did we leave you better than we found you? You know, we said to Deirdre the other day, and she's like, absolutely. Because I say, if you never join me, I just want to make sure that when we get off this phone call, we left you better than we found you. Right. And it's the same thing with them. We're giving them a systematic, agent plan so that, and they're looking at it going, oh my gosh, nobody did this for me. Everybody's
Right.
giving me weird advice. You just gave me a plan. Right. So it, it really, it lands with the avatar. Now, that's why I say, you have to know your avatar too, because you could be talking to people where this stuff just is lost on them, right? A plan is
Right.
lost on a lot of people if they don't use them in work or they're not familiar with them. This might not be the approach for somebody like that. And that's not a socioeconomic commentary. That can happen at all levels. I mean, you can find wealthy people that just like are lazy and, an intellectual approach like this or a planned approach is totally lost on them. Totally. So it's not a matter of money.
So then what do you do?
It's a good question.
How do you adjust?
It's a great question. I try to stay even more patient with the emotional and try to see if I can pull them down to the logical, because they're the ones that you have to listen even more so to, because they're having a tantrum. Unless I feel like I have enough of a relationship where I can say, all right, hold on. You're losing it. Hold on.
Yeah.
So it depends on where. It's like coaching. If I know I have, the other day with Megan online, when we did our coaching call, I know Megan trusts me. And so I was like, oh no, hold on. No. What did I do it like 3 times, right? No. So it's the same thing when somebody's losing themselves to an emotional moment, Autumn. I still came back to the plan, but because I have a relationship with her, I cut in. If not, it's like a fighter. What they say, when a real smart, savvy fighter goes out and somebody comes out swinging in the first round, you let them punch themselves out, right? Just cover up, stay low, stay there, stay present, stay authoritative, but let them punch themselves out first, right? Now come in. Say, all right, I heard you, right? And I heard that you said this very specifically. Let me tell you maybe just something that will help you clarify that point. What if, right? You know what I mean? Some language like that. Sometimes when somebody's emotional, they'll support what they think is their idea. So take that idea of people will support what they help create. That's if they're intellectually driven and they're hearing you and their emotions are relatively in check. But when somebody's emotionally out of control, plant the seed that allows them to think that this is their original idea and say, that's the one. Let's go. So it really, from a technique standpoint, you just have to listen more and be patient. But there is that fine line on them where if we're calling nothing but emotional people or hanging up on us all the time, we're trying to pound a square into a round hole. Something's going wrong here. We got the wrong avatar. And so And I think with you, you have found that, by calling people that are at the median and above, you're running into people that, are professionals. And so when you say plan and when you say system and when you use those words, it's not lost on them. Right. So,
Yeah.
so just on the law of averages, again, I'll say this, the law of averages is going to tell me that if I'm to the right side of the median, my intellectual logical approach might land better on average. It does not mean that everybody in that category is my avatar. So there are times where we're talking to someone like, nope, they have a terrible money paradigm. There are a lot of wealthy people that are they just can't even hear you talk about how you add value because everything is from an expense standpoint. They just don't get it. And off they go into nickel and diming themselves into a lesser than optimal result. So there's an example of somebody, socioeconomically at that end of the, recently, I'm not going to say the name, but out in Falmouth, the gentleman who came here with, what did I tell you? $7,000 in his hands.
Right.
Great guy. It wasn't lost on him, but his money paradigm is so horribly driven towards everything's an expense. He just still couldn't get his mind. He couldn't intellectualize how full service would have gotten him even more. He just
what's worth paying for.
Right. It's just not gonna land. And I love him. I had a great conversation with him. Right. I did. See, on the buy side, he doesn't see it that way as much as he did on the sell side. Everything on the sell side, but this is all I have. And like my heart was bleeding for the guy, but I knew, Autumn, that it would be very difficult to get to him. All right, let me move on to Maxie's call. Good job, ladies. Maxie, you there? And Whitehead, you sent me one here. Whitehead, you there? And Maxie, you there? Okay, I'm looking for Nicole, if you're out there, Renshaw, if you're still on here, because I have one of your calls from David Whitehead, and Maxie. Nicole, do I have you? Or David Whitehead? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move on.
Hey, Danny, can you hear me?
I can, Maxie.
I'm here.
Yep, I've got you. Here we go. Maxie,
Okay.
I'm going to take I don't want to get one that committed to the friend. That's a waste of time because I know somebody like you gets that. You're just not going to win that. So I feel that I lack asking the timeline. Okay, let's listen for that. Here we go.
Hello?
Hey, Sarah?
No, it's the wrong number.
Oh, okay. Your phone number got registered at our website looking for homes in Seattle. Were you thinking about making a move or buying a home?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much for the updates.
Okay.
That's it?
There was a pause there because so it's a wrong number, a newly lead that registered a bad number. So I used a site Antilias.com to get for another number.
So am I going to hear it? Do I keep running? Okay. All right. This is interesting. We haven't gotten one of these. Here we go. Good for you.
Hello?
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah.
This is Maxie with Rice Barth and Associates. I see that you came in through our property search website, SeattleHomeBuyersGuide.com, and I just wanted to make sure you are receiving the right properties. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Great. So I see here that you put in Seattle and Shoreline as your areas of choice.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And may I ask for your price point in mind?
7 to 8.
Is that 700,000 or 7 million?
I love that.
And it's 700,000 to 800,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get that set up so it's coming for you. And by the way, Sarah, why were you looking to make a move?
I need a new house.
Okay. So right now, are you currently renting or do you already own a home?
I own a home.
Okay. Would you also need
I want a house.
you want a single family house, is that right?
Bigger.
A bigger home. Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you into buying?
10.
Beautiful.
I get the right house.
Okay, lovely. So just to check, would you also need to sell in order to buy, or you could purchase without needing to sell first?
No, I'm not selling.
Question.
I'm renting it. I don't want to sell it.
Okay. And do you have a real estate broker to help you when the time is right?
No, not right now.
Got it. Okay. So, Sarah, would it be helpful for you to receive daily updates by email of properties that match your home buying criteria from all the different real estate companies? And this would come directly from the source of information. I don't know if you know how this is. So, how the system works here is that there is this one primary source of information about homes for sale in our area. It's called the Northwest MLS. So all the other websites, we all get our hot listings from that one main source. If you're serious about buying that perfect property, you would want to get your listings directly from the Northwest MLS. And that way you get the best and, of course, the most updated listings. They'll send you email alerts as soon as properties that fit your criteria hit the market. And these are homes that are either brand new to the market, those that are coming back to the market too. So, for example, if there's a deal in Shoreline or in Seattle that fell through, you will have priority access to it, sometimes before the other buyers get to see them or put an offer.
Oh, that
Right.
works.
Lovely. And there's no commitment to that. There is no cost, no obligation whatsoever. Would that be helpful for you?
Yes, thank you.
Great. When can we get together for a virtual phone meeting so we could take down exactly what you're looking for? I'll be connecting you with my business partner who specializes. Monday would be a good time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you a morning or an afternoon person?
Morning.
Let's go ahead and set it up for this coming Monday, the 8th at 9 or 10?
9.
9 a.m. Okay. And I'll send you an email reminder for that virtual phone meeting with my partner. You're registered. Let me just check here. Is it Ficker? Is it Fick? Let me just spell that out. FIKIRABRAHAM 206 at yahoo.com.
Okay.
Is that the best email address to reach you at?
What is it? No, you got it wrong.
Wrong. Okay. What's the best email address?
Easy. MISASA.
All right, I'm going to stop it. You know what I'm going to say?
What?
It's the best call I've ever heard you make.
Yeah, very.
The best one ever. Like, that is unbelievably good. And she's not easy, which makes me even happier to be able to give you that award today. This is what I'm talking about. You're athletically ready. You're authoritative with your gentle way still. You don't sound like you're half asleep, which I know is tough when you're calling in the Philippines and you're calling, on different times. You are alert, and you need to send this to Duran, and you need to have him listen to it and say, Danny thought this was the best call he's ever heard me do, because you need to celebrate a success. You got me?
I'm going to send it to him.
But I want you to tell him what I said, that I've known you a long time. I didn't want to stop the call. It was just so consistently good throughout the whole thing. And, I think his offer is long, but not when you deliver it like that. Not when you deliver it like that. And you can see you transformed the way that she saw you and the way that she understood the offer. And you just never hesitated. You were gentle, but very authoritative. Bravo. Man, was that good.
Yeah.
And anybody making buyer calls needs to know you've got to be able to have an upsell offer other than they're just opt-in. And that's what they do. They sell the upsell into the MLS. And then it's easier, I think it's easier now that you're offering a virtual meeting, but you referred to your partner and that was it. You didn't babble on about my business. You just said my business partner. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful. You need to keep this call so that when you find yourself off, You know how I was saying to Ann, this is a good one to take 5 minutes to, because it's 5 minutes and 5 seconds so far. You should listen to this to get your brain going when you make buyers, sync opt-in calls. This is your best work ever. So it just goes to show you when you show up on these calls and you take the critique and you listen and you get better, because this is a very clear, great job. I mean, she's a real avatar. She's looking at a $700,000 to $800,000 property and she doesn't have a realtor. And you weren't all over the place with your script. It was logical. You just kept going through it. Maxie, bravo.
Thanks.
Yep, I'm leaving it at that. I am. I'm not listening to any more from you today because you gave me a 10 out of 10 all the way through it. That's what's most important about this, okay?
Okay.
Good job. See, I'm not always an ogre. You all think I'm a mean, I'm a mean old ogre, right? Not always. Yep. That was brilliant. I'm a proud coach today. That's how I feel. Proud of you. All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Nicole, I'm going to give another call. I'm going to listen to their call anyway. David Whitehead or Nicole. Let's listen to what they sent. Here we go.
Hello.
Yes, hi. I'm looking to speak with Anthony.
Yes.
Hi, Anthony. My name is Nicole. I'm calling with Brighthead Realty Group, and I was calling because I noticed your beautiful home online that it didn't sell, and just want to see if I could send you something that will help you sell it the next time.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to send something, that's fine.
Okay. Let me just confirm that I have the right address. I have 6429 Amanda Drive in Portgate, Indiana 46368.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, I will go ahead and get that sent out to you, and I'll follow up in about a week to make sure you received it.
All right, no problem.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful, but she's undertrained. Where's the second beat? I mean, she's a rookie at this. That's pretty dang good. It's a good way to end this call today. That's a rookie at this kind of stuff. She's no rookie telemarketer, but that's a rookie. It just goes to show you when you stick to the yellow brick system, that's what it sounds like in 51 seconds. Problem is, where's David Whitehead right now sitting here with her patiently for one lousy hour to be able to train her, right? Because here we go again. She gets it done, but her perception is the job is done. A quick, oh, by the way, while I have you, right? That's it. It's there for the taking. But now she has to call back in a week and start again when she had him. I mean, and he was just appreciative of it. You know, he was a high D. You could tell he wasn't going to spend a lot of time with her, but she has a beautiful speaking voice and everything, but 51 seconds. And why do we have to call this guy back and get him on the phone when we had him? And he still might have just blown it off, but we could have known more. We don't know anything other than she's got great potential. Okay. So it's a good call. I'll say one more time, Nicole or David, are you here? Okay.
David's not.
Yep. Okay. Hearing neither. She's got potential. No doubt about it. Just undertrained. There are two beats. I'll leave everybody with this thought this week. Okay. There are two beats. Finish the first one with strength and authority in your own tone, but with strength and authority. Get the package of information that is helpful to them out the door. It is the system in the package. You have heard me and my own team validate that sets up a meeting where I can offer my insight, and I absolutely stick to it. And I will absolutely at 11 a.m. in the morning on ET time. You can think about me tomorrow, walking into a building in Boston with the package in my hand and going through exactly what I go through. No deviation. And I will report back to you next week on how it went. But that's what's supposed to be happening every week. A nice, smooth manufacturing of relationships. All right. So keep that in mind. Go out there, use this stuff and prosper. Appreciate it. Went a little OT today. So I'm going to cut it there because we've been going long each week. All right. Bravo, everybody. Good work.
Thanks, Danny.
Yep. Yep. Thank you all. Yep. Thank you all. Good work, everybody. Good work. Bye all online here. Gail, anybody else out there? Aurora, thank you for being here. James, everybody.